Cheers. Cheers me.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Oh yeah, that's really nice. That's really good.
It's so good.
Yeah.
Well, we were like, we were down in Seattle for one listing, and then we went over to another place to pull some stuff for another listing, and we're like, there's a Total Wine right there. Let's stop by.
We got 2 bottles, and that was a day where Allison was like, "Oh, I'm gonna drink."
Like, yeah, she'll turn us down 99 times out of 100, and then the one time we don't ask, she's like, "Well, I'm willing to drink."
Yep.
What do you want?
Yeah.
I feel like The Notebook. What do you want? It's not that simple.
I saw all the shorts that you sent.
Mm-hmm.
The one where the eye roll, it's well placed. That was a good one. Yeah.
I haven't seen them yet. Can we watch these?
Yeah.
Okay.
Basically, when you mentioned,
Using
he was saying he wouldn't cut his hair into a mullet because then you're just gonna show people that picture and save it forever, and you're like, oh, kind of like I saved the eye rolling gif. I would just show people. So then once you mentioned that, I had him send it to me. So I had it go a couple times in the reel.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, that was a good one.
So, like, if I say something, you just get a cut to an eye roll? Or I'll have to watch it.
Yeah.
I'll have to watch it.
Yeah.
But I think it's just nice, like, if you have those little references, like the slip and slide.
Mm-hmm.
I inserted that that video that I was telling you about.
Yeah. Oh, I gotta watch this.
Slides. Yeah. Yeah, it's funny.
So
Yeah.
I feel like it helps people, I don't know, brings the extra little element, which is fun.
I gotta watch that.
It does. All right. Well, welcome back to episode 17.
17.
Of Property Pairings. I'm Eric Kinzler.
Mike Pavone.
And we're on another week. I think you should talk about the Macallan.
So A Night on Earth. So you want the whole backstory? Like we were talking about how we got it?
Sure.
So yeah, well, so we are on a thing called Flaviar, and you can buy various bottles, right, that you may not be able to find at your local Total Wine or whatever. I saw that one on there, and then when we were by those listings doing that work down in Seattle, we go to the Total Wine that's there, saw it on the shelf, grabbed that one, and we're like, because the last time we treated ourselves was the 21.
Yeah.
In around Christmas time, right?
Yeah.
So that was the last time we got a nicer bottle than what we normally get. So I grabbed that one, and then I grabbed that other bottle, the Tamdu, which is the sherry cask one.
Right.
And I'm holding them like this. And Eric, what did you say to me?
Oh.
You look like a little kid in a...
Yeah, like, you got to go to the grocery store, and your mom's like, you can get a toy.
You can pick one thing.
And Mike's there, and they each came in boxes, so he's like, got both boxes in his arms, and he's like...
I got
like,
two.
smiling, walking around. We're waiting on Allison for we could have been in and out of there in I don't know, 7 minutes max, including going through the line.
That's like a NASCAR pit stop. Like we could have been out.
Yep.
But we had to go into the back aisle,
Allison wanted
into the freezer.
Specific kind, and then we found it, and then...
Oh yeah, we got all the way to the cash register, and she's like, wait, can I change it? And so then would she run back and get the other one?
Yeah.
She ran back and came back up again.
And then she's got her own separate thing. She's like, well, I'm already here, so I want to get David something. And I'm like, okay.
So that's, but we ended up with this. And never had it before, because if it's like a 12 or a 15, and from time to time we'll do like an 18. But then they make these kind of different bottlings, which are, I don't know that they're
this
actually...
This one was like a Spanish something, I think.
Yeah, they'll do like a different finishing in a different type of barrel. And this one was like a Spanish, some kind of a different finishing in, there was the sherry cask component, but they did some other kind of finishing on this, so.
The box is cool too.
Yeah,
I took a video of it, and you open it up, and then it's got this funky pattern, and then you open up this other thing, and then it's like, ta-da.
You should try a tiny smidge of that.
I'll have to try a little bit before I leave.
Yeah.
It's just that I'm a sucker for like cool branding and fun names.
Mhm.
You know?
Yeah, you should see the box.
So I was gonna say, the box with the combination of that name, I would be like, I gotta try it.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I wonder with some of the scotches that we get, because it's like, it comes with this wooden box with gold-plated trim, and I'm like, or maybe we just take off $200 off the bottle and we don't have the box. That would be ideal too. I'm not going to collect it. I'm going to drink it. But
Well,
Mike's got some collectors.
I have a few, like was it as a Balvenie Dark and Stormy is the name of, like, they have these kind of cool names.
Yeah.
I bought for each year that a kid was born in, I bought a bottle of Macallan 18 for that year.
Oh, cool.
So those are sitting way in the back so they don't get mixed up with like the regular drinking stuff.
Of course.
On one trip to Scotland, apparently you're only allowed to travel with 2 bottles coming home, and I had like 10. So we shipped them to a friend of ours in California because that's where they could ship them to, and then they shipped it up to us. And the friends that we shipped them to down in California was like, he likes Scotch too, and I purposely got on the line with him. I was like, I know how many are there, so that many better arrive in Seattle too.
He's like, uh-oh, 2 of them broke.
What was that shipping cost like for many bottles?
Honestly, I don't
I
remember.
was gonna say it had to be a cost of a bottle itself.
It was,
if not two.
well, the stuff that I got was not like Macallan or something like that. It was stuff you can't get here.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it has the same kind of exorbitant price markup that Macallan gets just because of what it is.
Yeah.
Like that Tamdu, the 18 version of that is like half the cost of Macallan 18. It's probably the same. It's kind of same level of like taste and finish and all that.
Yeah.
But I seem to remember, I didn't spend, it was probably about I probably spent $1,000, $1,500 for those like 7 bottles plus shipping, which was like, that's worth it. Cause you can't find those anywhere. You couldn't find them anywhere over here.
Interesting.
So Scotch is my thing.
Yeah.
Well, how was the week?
Good. I've been doing a lot of social media stuff.
I was gonna say you're looking swole.
Swole.
Yeah.
Large.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was telling Jake earlier, I'm like on week 2 of going 4 days a week. And I was like, and now my body's just in that like constant soreness. So it's good. Yeah. It's been really nice. Yeah. The progressive part of it is cool to watch.
Oh, as you start stacking reps and weights and
Yeah.
sets and whatever, and then changing to something else.
Yeah. The interesting thing is because I do a lot of yoga, I'm really flexible. Right. And so they're like, go further down on your squats. And I'm like, okay. And so then I go like, I can do frog, right? Which is just where your butt's practically touching
On the back of your
ground.
heel.
As
Yeah.
low as you can go.
Yeah. And they're like, if you can do that, do it. And I'm like, okay. And so you're doing like those 3-second holds when you get there. So those are it's hard to get up from that. That's for sure.
I did something like that last night. I just did the bar,
Yeah.
but I went kind of below 90, which is what you're talking about, right? And
Yeah.
I was I'm not as flexible, but I got as far as I could go.
Yeah.
It was like, when I was doing like sets of 15 or 20.
Okay.
I think I did 4 or 5 of those. Not quite as the 3-second hold though, because that'll burn you out. But it was like, ooh, I'm feeling it today.
Yeah. This is only 2 sets of 8 reps, but I had 95 on there, so it was
You feel that.
yeah. I'm feeling round.
Has your wife made you do any more
Oh yeah.
butt workouts?
Yeah.
With her?
Yeah, we did another one of those last week on Wednesday.
So
no.
Is that a Wednesday
Or
thing?
was it this Wednesday? Yeah, Wednesday was yesterday, 2 days ago, right? No, so it was the week before. Yes, she had me do one of those again, kicked my butt, literally. And then last night, I was doing legs, but she was asleep on the couch. It's like, I'm not waking her up. I'm not doing that again. I'm just going to go in the garage and work out regularly.
Is she in our office right now?
Nah, she's sleeping in the car.
Oh, okay.
I'll get to that.
Yeah, she was asking. She was like, "Can I come in there and watch you guys?"
I was like, absolutely not. You're going to mess with the dynamic.
Yeah.
She's like, I'll be quiet in the background. I'm like, no, you will not.
You're like, I'm just not going to be as unfiltered if you're there. So I got to.
And then immediately asks me, like, "Do you think I would ruin the dynamic?" And I was like, "Well, it used to be Mike and I, and then we added Jake, and that helped, but I don't know if adding a fourth person would change it. So I'm not sure." So, and then I was like, "You guys noticed my Switzerland answer, correct?"
Very Switzerland.
Because, like, what would happen is that she'd be back there and she'd be like, not saying anything, but she's saying something.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. It's hard not to.
No, I said absolutely not. You're going to ruin the dynamic. And that still followed our conversation, went all the way out to the car.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah, I stepped in it on that one, but whatever. You're not messing with our little trio here.
Gotta keep some things sacred.
Yes.
You're like, "Go watch it."
Yeah, I did. I said that. She's like, I only see the clips. I go on YouTube. You can watch the full thing.
Go on YouTube. You'll be one of our 12 viewers.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, make it 13.
Make it 13.
Almost 14. Get to 17, like our episode number.
Oh, yeah. So, episode 17. Oh, I'm looking at the wrong camera again.
That's good for the wheels.
I watched that one again last night. That one had me cracking up.
Oh,
When
yeah.
I'm looking at the wrong camera.
Yeah.
Which happened also as an aside last night, same thing. I was just happened to be scrolling through them because Mike had sent me a still of one of our shorts. And I'm watching them and the kids can hear his voice. And so they come running from the other end of the house.
They're like, "Oh, Eric here."
Because so we're on the couch. I'm sitting on one end of the couch and Julia's over there. And they can hear Uncle Eric. And it's like these little pitter patter. I want to, and you can tell they want to see because you know what they do. They kind of circle around you like a shark, and then they climb on top of you. And Blair though, Blair's
them,
just like whatever. I'm getting on you. I'm sitting like this. Clark's sitting on my leg. Blair's already hit me in the crotch. Ashton's coming over my right shoulder, and I have the phone like this. So I'm like, all right, let's call. Well, first off, I was like, Daddy's in the video too. Eric. So I see what this is going to be. So I just went straight to let's just FaceTime him. And she looks at you dead in the eye. She's talking to him through FaceTime, like just like having a whole conversation with him.
Telling me about her day. You can't understand a lot of it, but you can, like, bits and pieces. It's like, okay. Yeah.
She told him about how she played with Joshy.
Yeah.
Didn't give two SHITs. The dad was sitting there.
This time, though, I did purposely when I answered the phone, because I was sitting there working at my laptop with TV going on in the background. And so, yeah, I answered the phone. As soon as I answered it, I was like, "What's up?"
Yeah, you got to play into the bit now.
Yeah,
I
for
have
sure.
a question. So, because your daughter's like same age-ish as my nephew, if not both of them.
Yeah, a little over 2.
So, obviously, sounds like when Eric's not around, they like talk about him. They want to FaceTime him, whatever. But do they ever get like once they're like actually on the phone, ever get shy? Because my nephew, like my brother, will call me out of the blue. And then maybe I'm busy and I'm like, "Hey, sorry, I can't talk right now." He's like, "Oh, it's okay. Like, Bodie just wanted to talk to you."
You're like, oh.
I'm like, "Dang it! Like,
Oh.
what about in like 10 minutes? You know?"
Yeah.
So I'm like, I know he's like thinking about me. He wants to talk to me, whatever. So then Sunday, I'm like going to Alki Beach, and I'm like, okay, I'm in the car. Like I can call. So I text my brother, "Hey, are you guys home? Can I call?" Right. So then I FaceTime, and then he's like, "Bodie, look who called to talk to you." And then as soon as he like goes to hand him the phone, it's like hiding in the couch.
Yeah.
I'm like, "Dude, I know you want to talk to me." Like, so then you're trying to like ask questions to kind of get him like out
And
of
they're-
like that. Like, it's the shy moment only lasts for like 2 minutes.
Yep.
And then they're like there, and he's like, "What's Alki Beach? Can I come there?" And like show him a picture. He's like, "Cool."
Well, that's Blair. Like on your birthday, I wasn't there firsthand. Julie told me afterwards, but I think it's what you're describing, where Blair was talking about Uncle Eric, and Julia's like, it's his birthday today. Do you want to wish him a happy birthday? And it was like, yeah. So she FaceTimes him, and then she won't say a word. As soon as she hangs up, she starts singing happy birthday to him.
Yeah.
It's so strange.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is.
I don't either. I think it's just like the initial thing. A lot of times if I go over there, when the kids first get home from school, or especially if they were like, they fell asleep, immediately they're like, no go. And so I'll just sit there, and then they'll randomly look, and I'm like,
yeah, you just, exactly. You let them warm up.
Yeah.
I can always tell when they like just get done with nap, or like, just get up from nap time. So then I'm not really trying to like talk a ton. I'm just, like you said, you're just there.
Yep.
And then eventually they'll come over. Will you play with me?
Yeah.
Have you ever seen those Facebook or Instagram reels where you have like, all you see is a bunch of people kind of like maybe on their, kind of sitting down on their knees like this and going like this. Mm-hmm. And then you see the kid run in from off screen.
It basically shows you his favorite is.
Who the favorite is, right? Yeah. If we did that, it would be Julia, Uncle Eric, Knox, the dog. Then the kid would probably take the phone off the holder and try to find someone on the street. Then it would be me. That's kind of where I sit right now.
There was a point where it was like the last time I was over there, she was just like attached to me the whole time. And it was just like hug, cuddle, hug, cuddle.
Looked over, let me look
There was
at
one
Dad.
time she looked at Mike just like normal, almost scowl-like, looked at him, and then she just like gave me a huge hug and buried her face and just looked at Mike
looked
the
at me.
whole time.
She leaned in as she's looking at me.
That's hilarious.
She's like, work harder.
Yeah, right.
I'm sure you'll have your moments, but you just gotta cherish them while you can, because then eventually they're gonna get to be an age where all you are to them is Uber and an ATM.
Mm-hmm. Yep. It's just, I'm burning through that time though. Like it took, with Ashton, it took about 4 years. Clark, it was like day one, we were attached to the hip. Ashton took about 4 years. I'm like, oh God, please don't let it be like 7 or 21 for Blair. She's not a fan. But otherwise, what else did we do this week? We sold Carnation.
Yep, we got Carnation under contract. So Mike and I, we typically always have like our own clients, right? Like he'll know a client, or he'll get a referral from one of his clients, and like we work together with them, but it's typically there's like a lead person. Well, this is like the first one in the 5 years that we've worked together that's kind of come through as there was no relation to either one of us in any way. It was a referral, and so we worked it together. So that's been really fun.
And there was some really, it's interesting because in that capacity, as that getting two of us, it is a learning process too for us as we're kind of that the relationship has evolved such that, like yesterday when we were doing that negotiation part, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like he and I talked through the offer, and then I was like, well, talking, as we kind of X through terms that we were going to counter them on, there's a comfortability that comes just with frequency of doing stuff. So like we kind of talked about like, do you want to call or do you want me to call? And it was like, Eric's like, well, why don't you call this time?
Yeah.
And I talked with the other agent, like, here's what we're going to be jettisoning from the contract. Mm-hmm. This is redundant. We're not going to do that unless it's this, et cetera. And it was a good opportunity to like fully see that from the other side. Because a lot of times, if we're working a client, when it comes to that like last mile, if it's doing the negotiation on a contract, we're not usually in the same room together.
Right.
This one was cool though because Mike already knew how to talk to this other agent. I like build relationships with all of the other agents, and so it's like I was there and I was calling everyone to try to solicit another offer. Mm-hmm. And just like, hey, you know what? Told you I'd keep you in the loop. We're at XYZ. Let me know if you have any questions. And then I called the lender because they were wanting a little bit of a credit back. Mm-hmm. And the lender had mentioned that he was like, yeah, we added in a little more padding. And so I was like, okay. So then Mike calls the agent on the other side, talks him through some stuff, and then we kind of settle on what we're going to do. And then I call the lender and I'm like, hey, just wanted to call, like, what's the exact number that we need for this buy down?
Yeah.
And he gives me the number. So then we got our client almost extra $2,000 back
Oh, cool.
from that padding.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
wasn't
it's just
necessary.
like I would say I have a little bit more of like a fluff type conversational thing with people, and Mike's like direct. This is how it is. Not that
But he's got a point.
negotiation.
Yeah.
When it comes to that part, because we have differentiated a little bit, so especially when it comes to the talking with other agents, he'll do the negotiations or talking with other agents on his side too when he does his own ones. But I don't have the time for that, neither do you. But I don't like when in that moment it's like, here's what we're cutting, here's why we're cutting it. Are you good with this? Are you going to be on board with this? Because we're not deviating off of this.
Right.
And if you're not, like, tell me now so that we're not wasting time.
Yeah.
And that's just, I don't know. That's just I think just time. Just having gone through as many transactions, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, I just think that's your style too.
And my personality type.
Yeah. And sometimes I'll be chatting with the other agent and because I like chat with them, right? And just like, hey, how's it going? And it's like, oh yeah, I live over here at Ames Lake. And they're like, oh well, I live in Duval. And it's like, oh, have you been to the Grange? Or like my whole thing is like a building relationship, because then sometimes things slip.
Yeah.
Right? And so they're like, oh yeah, this was my client's dad built this house and he's been living here the whole time, and then she inherited it, but it's not right for her family. And I'm like, we have these clients who are about to have a kid. We got to write a letter.
Yeah.
Because a letter is going to be a big deal for someone that this was her childhood home that her dad built,
Right.
versus someone just coming in and just all they see is an offer with terms.
Yeah.
So, but I do that on all of our stuff, where you're trying to find those extra things to give our client the advantage, because it's not always just terms.
Right.
We got one because of chickens one time.
We got one because of a golden retriever.
Interesting.
Yeah. So there's we're certainly conscientious of each other's strengths.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't call it that the other person's filling in for the other person's weaknesses. It's just you're much stronger here, and it is way better from a competitive advantage to have, do that. It's not a good cop, bad cop, but it's kind of like that.
Yeah.
Just play to it.
Mm-hmm.
What one of my first negotiations, I'm chatting. It's for a buyer that Mike has, but I had built a relationship with the broker. Mike was out of town, I think, and so I was showing and I was contacting the broker, and I was like, I have pretty good rapport. And he's like, okay, well, go with these terms. I'm like, okay. So I go back to her, and she's like, yep. So we send it over, and then she tries to negotiate back, and I'm like, well, you said this. I gave you this. Like, you need to sign it. And she signs it, and she's like, I'm sorry, it's been a really hard day. My 16-year-old dog died. But I'm thinking, yeah, I negotiated this. But she had to put down her 16-year-old dog while I'm like, no, you said this. I said that more polite than like I'm showing here, but I was like, damn, I thought my negotiation skills were just like,
They were on point.
they were on point. They were just like,
They for sure were.
she was just putting down her 16-year-old dog.
We have an obligation to be honest,
Yeah.
I sent her a card.
but we don't have to be fair. That's the big thing. So we're going to use in that example, it's a bit of an extreme example, but it's a good one that illustrates the point. It is, we use whatever little competitive advantages that we can get to help the client. So in this case, it all worked out. We went under contract.
And that was in like 2021 when it was tough. And it's like, what do we got to do to take this off right now?
Yeah.
And then I gave her exactly what she wanted. And then she was going to try to play us. But I didn't know about the dog until after they signed the contract.
You weren't
I wasn't like
trying
you.
to be insensitive.
Like, why are those dogs barking in the background? Oh, I'm at the vet. No, it wasn't like that. We also sold our other listing this week, Kirkland.
Yes. Yep. Kirkland went under contract Monday.
Mm-hmm. It was Monday or Tuesday, yeah.
Mhm.
So put 2 to bed this week.
Yeah. trying out this new marketing tactic. I have it printed already with
yeah,
like notes for you to review. So we'll see how that goes.
There's some jujitsu over here.
Some real estate gymnastics.
Yeah. I've been like working on a whole bunch of social media marketing, right?
Yeah.
Like and revamping stuff and being engaging, and like it's way more organic. It's nice. I have time blocked to do it. And I get a phone call today from like the person who's helping us with our marketing. And she goes, "Your TikTok is doing so well because of all the shorts that you make for us." She's like, "You guys, I've compared you to other real estate agents, and everyone else is doing like home tours. Like, stay away from that on TikTok. Keep talking about you guys, and then do like the random trending ones that we can convert to real estate."
Yeah.
And she's like, where people are getting 200 plus views, like you guys are in the thousands on these.
Hey, brush your shoulder off right there, man.
I know.
Listen, you guys are the stars of the show. I think from like April we started like hitting a stride, where it was like all the like everything's starting to get more dialed in. The settings, the lighting.
We know
your
our
guys'
cameras.
No, we still don't know the cameras, apparently, with me.
But then also me, understanding your guys' dynamic better, playing into questions and different things. So then it's like selecting what to, edit. Even just like changing the mics. Like I literally listened to some of the first episodes, and then having these corded mics, and I was like, wow, we've really been just slowly upgrading over here.
We've progressed. We're getting better.
I know.
Yeah. It's still, you say April, because I didn't figure out what camera to look at until what, May?
Yeah, that wasn't that long ago.
Yeah. 2.5, 3 weeks ago.
God.
But I'm glad those are doing well on the TikTok there.
Yeah. It's good. They do well on YouTube Shorts too.
We have some I don't know if you guys have talked, but some of the creative ideas for other content, which I think are going to be amazing.
Yeah, Amanda's going to be reaching out to you if she hasn't already about collaborating on that
It
stuff.
may or may not involve 80s exercise clothes.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. Is this your idea?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Mike's the the idea guy.
I got a compliment,
I'm
and
the
I
follower.
didn't think about it until you said it the other day. You're like, wow, you're actually really good with the more quirky content or the funny content. Because I sent you that video the other day where the two guys are looking at each other. I'm like, we need to do this for real estate.
Yeah.
He's like, that's a great idea. I was like, I don't know where they come from.
Yeah.
That was the third video that I made this week, was
Yeah.
Eric realizing how creative you are.
Yeah.
And you're looking at him like, am I?
Tell me more. So, yeah, Mike is creative. I'm just the executioner of the creation.
He brings the vision to reality.
Again, playing to your strengths.
Yeah. What else?
Speaking of under contract,
Oh.
Hey!
my brother
Cheers. Cheers to your brother. What's his name?
Dylan.
Dylan. Congratulations.
Nice. Good for him.
Yeah. Saw him literally put on my way here as, under contract graphic. So
Nice.
That's awesome.
I'll have to shoot him a text later.
But that brings up a good point. I mean, that's a differentiator when someone who's going, your brother doesn't sound like someone who just throws a sign up in the yard and calls it good. I mean, to take that extra step, and we've done that, where it's like, you're an unknown variable. There's some yellow flags here. You're gonna have to get approved with our people too.
Yeah.
In order for us to move this forward.
Yeah.
That was smart. That was very smart. Well, he just because you're new to the business doesn't mean you lack kind of that acumen, though,
Yeah, exactly.
of how to approach something like that.
Yeah.
just the amount of clients that you have at first. That's really it, I think.
Because we've been around brokers who 20, 30 years in the business, and then we've been around ones that are 12 months in the business, and the ones that are 12 months in the business, I mean, they write a better contract, they're more communicative, they're more three-dimensional in their thinking when it comes to how do you structure your terms. So hats off to them. Congratulations.
I'll pass it along.
Yeah. But yes, today I'm casual Friday. I was expecting you to say something.
It's casual.
Every day
Yeah. Although you've been, you wear button-ups a lot.
because of the field trip today. We were inside, it was outside.
Yeah, you haven't really touched on that. Tell us about this field trip.
So I usually miss out on all of the kind of those kinds of kid events, either because I've taken the kids to school or whatever, and like that causes a later start than I would typically be. So whatever. This time around, my oldest Clark was like, "We're gonna go on a field trip to the Kids Science Center or whatever up in Everett," and he's like, "Oh, I want you to go." Well, I'm not. I have to get approved to do that. So Julia's already approved. I go get approved, and so we both get to go.
Nice.
So we carpooled up there, and the bus pulls up, and my hat is off to those kindergarten teachers because there was 60 plus kids on one bus. Yeah, and all like 5 years old and 6 years old, and you could hear the screaming of the kids before you heard the engine of the bus
Wow.
coming around the corner, and then they pull up, and the bus literally stops with Clark right in front of us.
Yeah.
And he is so excited, and he's doing his dance moves or whatever it is he's doing.
He's quite the ham.
He's quite the ham.
Yeah.
And he gets off the bus, and he's just so excited we're there. And I haven't done those. Like Julia's done secret reader. They do it at the school. So like a parent is coming in to read. They don't know who it is. And then there's like a little couple clues to figure out whose parent that might be. And then,
funny.
so Julia's done it. I really wanted to go today. So went and did that. But yes, my casual attire. It was cold out there.
I mean, in
It's
all,
kind of been deceivingly chilly today.
Mhm.
Like I've been very comfortable in what I'm wearing.
And it was drizzling up there, so I had the rain shell on too.
was it?
Yeah, over there. Yeah.
in all fairness, you've worn that when it hasn't been a kid event. So you've worn that to inspections. You've worn that to
I found
our
a hole.
podcast when there's not a kid thing going on.
I need to
and
go
had
get new clothes.
showings.
I found a hole in one of my pockets the other day.
In your
there.
jeans?
No, on the one of the pairs of khakis, like 15 of them, but one of the holes right in the pocket's like, well, I guess those are being demoted to like yard work days.
I put on some of my new pants today, and I was telling Jake, they were like wide-legged, really wide, and short. They were still, I typically wear like 32 length. They were still 32 lengths, but they were like high 30. I think I was supposed to wear them like past my belly button
You wear 32s.
in the length.
I wear 32s.
It's because in the waist and the length, they don't make the size that I need.
Well, what would your, like what, 32,
32, like,
33 and a half?
yeah, 34 is too long. 33 would be ideal, but until I go get custom clothes made,
Yeah, don't you just get them hemmed up?
no, it seems like a lot of extra. I'm instant gratification. I order it, I put it on. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, sometimes it goes back, and sometimes it goes into the closet, and then it gets donated. So
Oh.
the Goodwill that gets my stuff, or Valley Village or whatever.
Yeah, let me
they
know where
get
that is.
brand new stuff.
Yeah, can I go over there? I'll take your stuff, intercept it. I'll wear some of that stuff.
Oh, I put on these pants the other day that I bought. They left the tag on, the security tag.
The little plastic thing. Did
The-
you get it off?
No, because they put like ink in those, so you can't just rip them off.
You can't smash it. You would need like a crazy powerful
Magnet, yeah.
I didn't know they put ink in those.
They do. They put stuff in them so that way you are either gonna rip your pants or you're gonna ruin them.
Oh, because when I did retail at Abercrombie, thank you,
Here's a model,
I was not.
Abercrombie model.
Oh God,
That's what they call
I
all
was
of their
not.
employees.
I was a manager, not an Abercrombie model.
I mean, it looks like
Model
you're still wearing
manager.
clothes from
None of this is Abercrombie.
We know it's Costco.
It is Costco. Yeah.
Continue.
What is this? Oh yeah, this is. I got these hemmed up. Anyways,
Oh,
but we
you
didn't
have to
have
go
the little tags on those. Didn't explode.
28s.
What's that?
Their length.
Well, they hadn't
32.
They hadn't invented those security tags yet in '97.
Yeah. Jerk.
I mean, they did.
It was 2006, 2007.
Oh, that's when I graduated high school, 2006.
Yeah, they just.
20 years ago.
I think they just had a security guard. Did they even have a security guard at the mall?
Oh yeah, he didn't do anything though. He just drove around on a golf cart because it was at the outdoor one in Redmond.
Oh yeah, I forgot that you told me there was one there. It's where like the swimming thing is now.
I used to do the tag in the in my friend's clothes.
Oh yeah, see that's messed up.
Yeah.
It's messed up when you know.
Oh, I crossed the line.
When you know the person, yeah, it's brutal.
Oh yeah, no. Well, it was like back in high school. It'd be like you'd pull one of those off if you were going through a store with one of your friends and like.
Trying to like clip it on the back. Of
Yeah,
the
you
shirt.
pat them on their back or something, or hide it under the collar, and
God. No, I was perfect. I didn't do any of that.
I want to say I was helping Amanda. Ones we sold down in West Seattle area. There, I was helping them buy their first place, and I met them somewhere else, and it was at a Starbucks. And my brain was elsewhere, and I don't know why, but I thought that newspapers at Starbucks were like, just take one if you want one. So I grabbed one. I don't know why I grabbed one. I was like, who's reading newspaper even back then? But I still grabbed the newspaper. They're like, did you pay for that? I was like, you have to pay for these?
Yeah. I never thought you had to pay for those at first either.
Yeah, same.
Okay, so you guys had the same thing too?
Yeah, it was kind of like it wasn't. It was just displayed. It wasn't in the
It was
normal.
right by the
put
door.
the 50 cents in.
Yeah.
There's no price.
Or $1, and then you have to. Did you have those? Y'all have those here? Where
Yeah.
you push the button and then you open it up and you
But
take one.
sometimes they would just open.
They didn't even have an open thing. They just had them there.
Well, I felt
Available.
they made me feel real bad
Yeah.
because it was right by the door. I was meeting them there. I grabbed one. I don't know. I was reading the comics books or comics section or something, right? Or doing like the crossword.
Yeah.
And I just walked out with it, and they were like, "Did you pay for that?" And I said, "Do I have to? Do we have to pay for these?"
Yeah.
That's the closest I ever came. But yeah, so today was field trip day, and then Ashton had his field trip today too. But his was an in the school field trip where all the animals, they bring the animals to the school.
Oh.
So it's like I'm not bringing like a leopard or
It's
something.
a reverse zoo.
It's like a reverse field trip, basically. Yeah, they bring him to the school, and I felt so bad because he was like, "Well, wait, so you guys are going to Clark's field trip?" And it was like, "Yeah." So are you coming to my field trip? Well, no, because yours is at the school, and we're not allowed to do that.
You're like, that's not a field trip, buddy. That's a stay trip.
Yes. So we have to make it up to him later.
Yeah.
He decided he's like, I wish we were twins because he wants to do everything Clark's doing because Clark's a year ahead in school. Well, next year, bud, we're gonna be doing this for a while.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh yeah.
I've never been there. Only child.
He gets to do that.
Only child. I'd never experienced that.
Everything. I mean, everything's like that. Yeah, for sure.
He's like, I wish we were twins. I was like, well, should have run that one by mommy. I don't think she was on board for that one though.
Well, and then you're gonna get Blair's gonna do something, and Clark's gonna be like, "No, you guys didn't let me do that until I was 7, and she's 5."
Yeah.
So that there's like this back thing to it.
I never.
She's getting a cell phone. I didn't even get a cell phone until I was. Yeah, it's the whole.
I never
internet.
understood that until you actually literally just said that. Because the first one, it's like you want to prolong that stuff as long as possible. But then,
You start to become more lenient.
well, right. And it's like, and like how Ashton is versus how Clark was, because Ashton's essentially playing up all the time, he's very quick with things. And Blair's even faster. She watches her brothers do things, and she's already doing things that they weren't doing. Like I could see as a parent where down the road I'll be in that position. Here, Blair, take the keys. Go drive to the. She's 12, Dad. Sorry. Yeah, sorry, my bad. No, you gotta wait.
Yeah. Dude, when the younger one has an older one to look at, I mean, it's just walking faster, doing this quicker, like just monkey see, monkey do.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
and she's 2, and she's already kind of there on some of those things. She's definitely there on the back talk.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Yesterday, she just looked Julie in the eye, and Julie's like, "No, stay here." She's like, "No," and then she kind of babbled a little bit and just walked off.
She said something.
She said something.
And then later that same night, Julia's like, no, we need to go to bed. And then you see the dogs break out from the deck.
Mm-hmm.
They're running down through the yard. And Blair is peeling out from the deck all the way down to the sports court.
Yeah, she's
And I'm like,
"Hi."
you can just see she's cackling because she's, she just jailbroke. Yeah,
She's like,
we're in for it with her. But yeah, it was a good week.
What are you doing for Father's Day this weekend?
We're we're going to go to the Mariners game.
Nice.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was. I was like, "Do the boys want to go?" And she's like, "Yeah, the boys would really want to go." I was like, "Okay, well, we're gonna go to the Mariners game."
Nice.
So we have a dumpster in our driveway that needs to be filled, but we're going to the Mariners game. So that's what we're doing.
That'd be a good break.
Well, I did bring it up to Julie. It's like, I've noticed within my peer group at least, and even on my and also on my Instagram reels, is that when moms on Mother's Day want to just be left alone, but on Father's Day it's like, let's plan the whole day for Dad. So we're doing stuff.
Yeah, it's like, did I even get a choice in this?
Yeah, I was like, I could sit at home and play some video games by myself, but no.
Yeah.
But I am looking forward to it. They're really excited, and it'll be good.
Awesome.
So, yeah,
I sent my dad a card.
nice.
It's papyrus, so it's $7.50. It's classy.
Did you handwrite in there a bunch of stuff?
I hand wrote, yeah. And
Okay,
it's like this. The card is like Mr. Fix It is on the front, and so it's a perfect card.
Yeah.
It's a special thing when you get something from Eric, like handwritten.
I'm
Cool.
just gonna do some open houses this weekend.
I've got showings on Saturday. Thank you for helping me get that other one scheduled.
I know. I even requested the inspection report.
I've got to do the review on the other two, yeah.
Boom.
All right, well, thank you for joining us here on episode 17 of Property Pairings. I'm Left Twix, and that's Right Twix. Remember to click like and subscribe.
Cheers.